guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you how I cure some bacon, and I'm going to be doing a nice spicy herby cured bacon, and I'm going to be using meat from Hockey's Farm Shop in Fordingbridge in Hampshire. I was down there the other day. I managed to get a 2 kilo slab of belly. Now I'm reserving some of that for a charcuterie project I'm going to be doing later. I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the video. But in the meantime, let's get cracking with this piece of bacon. I'll take you through the whole curing process and you can see how you can do this yourself in your own home. It's very, very easy. You don't need any real specialist equipment, and you can have the most amazing bacon that you would ever imagine possible. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, I've got this wonderful Lop pig belly here, and this I'm going to turn into the most amazing pancetta. Look at the ingredients I've got here. So this is a tablespoon of star anise, a tablespoon of crushed, and I've done that in the pestle and mortar, fennel, brown sugar, and a tablespoon of black pepper. Now, I've already weighed out this, and this is just over 1.1 kilos. And whenever I make pancetta or bacon using salt and Prague powder, I weigh the meat first. That's the first thing you have to do. And then you can calculate your salt and your Prague powder. Now I'm using Prague powder 1 in here, and I've got in here 2.8 grams. Now, because this is over a kilo, if this was exactly a kilo, I'd be using 2.5 grams of this and about 27 grams of salt. But what I'm doing today is I've got these all pre-weighed, and I'll tell you exactly what these weights are in relation to the meat, and all that detail will be in the description of the videos. I'm going to be curing this in the bag, so the first thing I need to do is put the meat in here. Oh, and one important point, I'm doing this with the rind on. Nice bit of old school bacon with the rind on. So we'll get the meat in the bag. Okay. And we're going to mix our salt with our Prague powder. Now, I have got exactly 34 grams of salt in here and 2.8 grams of Prague powder. I'm going to give those a bit of a mix together, and I'm going to put these on top of the meat, and I'm going to put about 75% on the meat face, and the remainder I'm going to put on the skin. And you want to get it around all the sides to make sure that that fits nicely. There we go. Right, so that's the actual curing ingredients. Everything else that goes into here is for flavour. So we don't have to worry about the curing ingredients. That's already on there. That's going to cure this and turn it into bacon. All we need to do now is add a little bit of flavour to it. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to pop all this onto the meat. I'll give it a bit of a stir up. And basically that's really just to push it all around. Now, don't worry if when you're doing this you don't cover the meat entirely. Once the salt starts to draw out that moisture, all that moisture will mix with this ingredients and it'll be covering the whole meat, front and back. So there's no need to worry too much about that. Right. And really, the reason I cure in a bag like this is because it saves on an awful lot of mess. No one likes mess in the kitchen. There we go. So, right, so that's all in there. If I show that up to the camera, you can see that there. You can see that there. What we'll do now is we'll seal this in the bag, pull a vacuum on it, and we're going to cure this for 1 day for every ½ inch of thickness plus 2 days.
Don't worry, if you don't have a vacuum machine, you can do this in an ordinary Ziploc bag.
There we go, we've got a nice seal on there. Right, it is the 31st of August. Right, so that is about 1½ inches thick. So that's going to take 3 days. So we cure it for 1 day for every ½ inch of thickness. So there's 3 days worth of thickness there. And we're going to add 2 days onto that. So 5 days. So on the 5th of September, this should be fine. Now, doesn't matter if it goes a day over. It doesn't matter if it goes a couple of days over. You don't really want to do it any more than that. Because we have cured this with only 30 grams of salt, it's very unlikely that we're going to over salt this. So the time on this is the minimum amount of time that you need to give it. You can give it a few extra days if you want to. It's not going to affect the outcome too much. So with that done, every day we're going to revisit this and we're going to duff it up just like this. And by the time that we do that, there's going to be a lot more moisture in the bag. So we're going to hydrate all this beautiful seasoning and it's going to get all over the meat and give it that lovely flavour and sweetness. So there we go. That can go into the fridge and we'll revisit this every day and we'll bring it out and carry on with the curing process on the 5th. Right, here we go. I've just pulled this out of the fridge and it's been curing now for 24 hours. I want you to see all the moisture that's come out of there. So this is that beautiful aromatic sweet pancetta. And all we do when we overhaul it is we come really close into that and you can see how much fluid has been drawn out. We want to try and get all this fluid nice and evenly over the whole of this meat. And we just overhaul it. So we're giving it a bit of an old duff up, making sure all that cure and all those seasonings go all over the meat. This is day 1. We're going to be doing this every day now for the whole curing duration. And once it's done, we'll take it out the bag. Okay, here's the bacon. It's been in the fridge for 5 days. Actually, it's been in the fridge, it's now the 6th, so it's been in for 6 days, or 7 days, I should say. So that's fine, that's ready to go. What we're going to do now is we're going to open this up, get it over to the sink and give it a rinse. Right, let's take it over to the sink. And all we're doing here is just rinsing off the salt. And we're going to leave a little bit of that flavour on there. Oh, I can smell it. It smells absolutely divine. Let's get this back onto the bench and we'll pat it dry. Okay. This can go straight onto our rack. And we'll get rid of some of this moisture. Now, this bacon is going to be ready to smoke in about a day, but if that's if you wanted to smoke it. I'm not going to smoke this particular batch of bacon. I think there's enough flavour on it anyway, so we don't need to add any extra flavours to this, so I don't think smoking would be appropriate. That's looking pretty good to me. We'll stick this into the fridge for about 24 hours. That'll take away some of that moisture that's in there And once that's done, we'll bring it out and it's ready to slice. And we can try a few bits in the pan. Absolutely brilliant. Right, well the bacon has cured. We've washed it. We've had it in the fridge on a rack drying for 24 hours. And now it's time to slice. Now, I just think it's only fair for me to say that I am going to be using this really nice expensive slicer. But if you don't have one, don't worry. I've got a video on how you can slice bacon like a pro without one of these. So I'll put a link to that video in the description. Take a look at it after you've finished watching this one, and you should have absolutely no problem at all getting perfect slices every time when you make your own bacon. So here's what I've done. The bacon came out and we dried it in the fridge for a day, and here it is. And I've frozen it for about 5 hours. And the reason I've done that, firstly, it's going to sit on my slicer and I want it to be nice and flat. Hey, look at that. So I froze it on a roasting tray, like so. And the other thing that I don't want to do, I've got the rind on here, but I don't want to get fat drag. And if you try and slice bacon on a mechanical slicer when it's not frozen, or when it's at least not sort of crystallized through freezing, you don't necessarily want it to be 100% frozen. This one is. We'll see how it goes. Maybe a bit tricky, but it's quite a sharp blade. I don't think we'll have a problem. But if you do it without freezing it, you end up with a flap of skin coming off the back here, and you don't get very clean, professional looking slices. So this is one way to really improve how your bacon slices, and that's to freeze it first. So without further ado, let's get this on the slicer and we can slice it. Now I'm going to be taking slices from this bacon at around about 2 millimeters, and I'm going to do it with the skin side up. So let's just see how that sits. Right, that sits nicely like that. That way, when my clamp comes down, it gets a good grip on the skin. So I'm going to take some preliminary cuts, and I'm not too worried about great rashes. I'm just checking the thickness first, so let's do that. So. That's much easier. And you can see how those slices are coming off. Now they're really nice. They're absolutely nice. Nice chunky full length slices there. That's absolutely stunning, and that's what you want to try and aim for. I might just do a pack of these slightly thinner. And the reason I say that is because sometimes when I do dishes, I like to crisp them up between 2 parchment sheets, and the thinner they are, the easier that process is. So let's have a little go at that. Okay, I'll go a bit thinner, probably a bit thinner than that. So just to show you those two, that one's the slightly thicker one, that one's the slightly thinner one. Not a problem. I'll make them slightly thinner still. There we go. That's really nice. I'll do a load like that. There we go. And there's our slices. I'll put a few up there. And we'll get the old camera on those. Now, if you want to know how to pack these, I've got a video on storing these on gold silver boards. It's worth a look. It's always nice to be able to present these if you're giving them as gifts to people, to have them presented professionally. So we do a selection of vac bags and gold and silver boards for these to be presented on. Check out the video, link in the description, and that will show you exactly how to store these so they look really professional. Great, let's crack on and I'll get the rest of this done. it's all packed up, all on gold boards. Looks really lovely. I can freeze some of this down. I'm going to stick some in the fridge for a later date. And I think we'll go and fry some of this up, see what it tastes like. Oh yes, come on. So, let's get this camera up on me. Hi. First of all, this smells absolutely amazing. So, all those sort of fennel, star anise flavours aromas are coming through. I'll tell you if the flavours are coming through in a minute. Oh yes, they very much are coming through in abundance. That is superb. Wow, that is amazing. All those nibbly bits are fantastic too. Wow. That is really, really something else. I'm going to enjoy that bacon. Look at that. It's almost translucent, isn't it? Ooh, very nice. That's very nice. I'm going to eat the rest off camera because that is just rude. Well, I hope you liked the video. If you did like it, please do like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and leave us some comments in the comments section if you like the cure. All the details of the cure are in the description, so don't forget about that. And I'm going to tell you about this future project that I'm going to be doing in the next coming weeks. Now, those of you that know me and have been on my meat curing courses in the past will know that whenever we do a meat curing course, I've always got charcuterie that I allow people to taste. And one piece of charcuterie that I made a long while ago was a slab of pancetta. It was Italian pancetta. And rather than having it when it was nice and moist, I allowed it to air dry to about 60% weight loss. I mean, you could knock nails in with it. It was so hard. But when it was shaved very, very thinly, almost like angel hair thin, 1/2 mil, maybe even less than that, it was melt in the mouth. It was absolutely delicious and it looked fantastic on a plate as well. Well, that's what I'm going to be making in a future video. Do look out for it. If you want to know when I upload videos, do give us a subscribe. Click on that little bell icon next to the subscribe button. And every time we upload a video, you'll be notified when we do that, so you won't miss a thing. Well, that's all I've got for now. Watch out for new videos and I'll catch you on the next one. In the meantime, folks, take care. See you soon. Bye.